LT, back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, LaDainian?
I'm doing wonderful, Rich. How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. What was the coldest game you ever played in?
So that would be, let's see, Cleveland, playing in Cleveland, our first division championship. So that was maybe 04, 03, maybe 03. It was, so the temperature was like in the teens, like 12, 13 degrees, but with the wind chill, man, it was minus. It was -2 or something like that. It was freaking cold.
But is there something to the fact of a team like yourself, San Diego, coming from a warm weather spot, going to cold weather, and it is an advantage for the home team because they actually live in that type of temperature? Is there a real
No, I think it's a mindset, actually. For us at that time, we knew it was going to be cold. We and here's the thing, they play in it too. But when you're coming from the West Coast, think about it. You hardly ever get to play in those types of, inclements, weather. So you actually pump yourself up to play in it. Coming from San Diego, it's 70 degrees, most year round. And so when you go play a cold game, you have the mindset of, listen, it's going to be cold. Everyone's going to be cold. But, hey, we got 3 hours to play in the cold. It's going to be great. Let's go do it. And then let's get the heck out of here and go back to San Diego. That was the mindset.
So you think that's the Dolphins' mindset going into Pittsburgh?
Absolutely.
Essentially?
Absolutely. And the thing about the Dolphins, they have already beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I know it was at home and all those types of things, but as a player and a football player, when you beat a team once, you know that you can physically dominate them and beat them again, just like they did the first time. Now, I don't expect Jay to run for 200 yards, but I do expect them to be fairly decent in terms of running the football, being able to do that.
Well, in terms of running the football in the playoffs, Le'Veon Bell, it's his first experience doing it in that game. We had him on yesterday, and he's all sorts of fired up. I mean, don't you think, though, also on Saturday's game, the idea that the Raiders should just run the football? I mean, how tough does it get in January compared to the first 4 months when you're trying to run a football in a playoff game, LT?
It's really tough because teams start to break you down if they know the possibilities of playing you in the playoffs. They start to break you down your last 4 games, so they know what you had success in, what runs you had success doing those last 4 games. They know what you struggled at, and so they play the odds. You get in this formation, you like to run the ball out of this formation. This is what we're going to do to counteract that formation when you run the ball. We're going to take that away from you and make you run the ball in other areas, make you do different things. That's why it becomes so difficult to run the football in the playoffs. But if you have a dominant offensive line and you can just physically dominate the line of scrimmage like we expect the Cowboys to be able to do, like we expect, you can say the Oakland Raiders have an offensive line like that. The problem is Houston's defense is just as tough along that defensive line of scrimmage.
So give me winners. Give me winners this weekend. Who do you think?
So, I thought about this Houston and Oakland game, and I know that, Oakland won, Houston won the first game. I expect them to win again. I mean, without Derek Carr, how do we expect Oakland to go to Houston and be able to beat them when they couldn't get it done the first time? With the same team that Houston is playing with, Brock is back at quarterback. That's the same team Oakland's seen before. So I expect the Texans to win that game. Lions, Seahawks, boy, this is a tough one. This is a tricky one, Rich, because I believe the Lions have the offense to go in there and beat them. Without Earl Thomas, that defense doesn't scare me. I'm sorry. They just don't scare me. And what are we going to see from Russell Wilson? What kind of outcome or what kind of outing would he have? Would it be the Russell Wilson we've seen, half of the season, or the other Russell Wilson that struggles sometimes?
It sounds like you're talking yourself into choosing the Lions here.
I am. I am talking myself. And you know what? I am choosing the Lions, Rich. I'm going with the Detroit Lions on that game. Dolphins, Steelers. I like the Steelers. I think they're playing. They're getting hot. I think they're playing great football. That defense is playing a lot better. Has been down the stretch. I expect them to win that game. Giants, Packers. Whew,
yeah,
man, that's going to be a barn burner. It is going to be a barn burner. But at the end of the day, I just like Aaron Rodgers. I have to apologize to Aaron because midway through the season, when he said that we can run the table, I didn't believe him. I put a fork in them at that time, Rich. And so let me apologize to Aaron Rodgers. That's a bad man. Aaron, I'm so sorry I doubted you, my brother.
Well, I'm sure he's hearing that, and if not, we'll pass that along. LaDainian, you want to apologize to Seattle fans at the same time right now? Because you just one and done them in front of the 12s in a night game in the playoffs.
Well, it gives them some motivation. Hey, prove me wrong. Let's see what happens. But I'm telling you, I'm not scared of that defense like I used to be. But we'll see what happens. I'll tell you that it's going to be a good one.
So, who do you? I guess we're going to have you back on, so I'm not going to ask you your Super Bowl pick right now.
Yeah.
So you take the Lions as the only road team to win on that would be Lions against Dallas, and then Green Bay and Atlanta, and then so you're sending Houston to New England, and then Pittsburgh and Kansas City. That'd be a huge divisional playoff game. What do you think of the Chiefs' chances here on the second level?
I like the Chiefs. I really like the Chiefs because now we always talked about, well, man, the Chiefs are methodical. They don't have explosive plays. Alex Smith doesn't throw the ball down the field. But the X factor with explosive plays and all that kind of stuff has been Tyreek Hill. They got that guy now. And any touch of the football from that guy, he can take it to the house. So he's a game changer, X factor. The methodical style, I think that's what you need to beat New England because you got to be able to hold the ball, got to be able to keep the ball away from Tom Brady. And then, in order to compete on that level with Tom Brady's offense, you got to have people that can rush the passer. You've been around this league a long time, Rich. The people that can beat New England, they have to be able to get to Tom. And the Kansas City Chiefs, if Justin Houston is healthy, they have three guys. 1, 2, 3, count them. Three guys that can get to the quarterback. And don't forget about old Terry Poe in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, and his throwing arm, too. Don't forget about
exactly. How about that?
Yeah, about his Tebow-like qualities right there. Do you think the Chiefs closed out the San Diego Chargers in San Diego, LT? What do you think? Do you think that was the last game for the Chargers in San Diego?
Yeah, I think they're going to, at this point, I think they will be forced to leave. Unless at the last hour, that 11th hour that we always talk about, unless something changes there, I believe they're going to be forced to leave. Dean really was dependent on the vote. He really wanted to see where they stood after the vote. And the fact that they didn't get 50% of the vote, I'm sure he was really disappointed, but that sent a clear message to him that, a deal probably wouldn't get done in San Diego.
And we started our conversation with you being in the state of Ohio and the coldest game you ever played. And let's finish up about Ohio and maybe the first weekend of August. LT, what do you think? What did you hear? You heard about your finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know it's Fight Club. You can't talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. But are you letting your mind wander a little bit over the last couple of days?
Well, as it gets closer, Rich, I am. When you go through, just being nominated, and obviously it's an honor to be nominated. But then it gets more and more real, when you semifinalists, and now I'm a finalist. 15 guys left, and so I think about it more. I think about, what my speech is going to be like. You start to plan, and all that kind of stuff if it's going to happen. And the cool thing is, you get that call from the Pro Football Hall of Fame executives, the guys that make the call. You get that call, and they tell you about starting to prepare in case you get the knock on your door Saturday evening. All that stuff really becomes real at that point.
Mm-hmm. And if people ask you who your presenter is, you're saying me, right? Just say it.
Of course.
Even if you don't mean it.
Of course.
You know,
Even though I don't get to come on your show, Game Day Mornings, of course, you still would be
look,
my presenter.
LaDainian, you know the flow chart. You understand, right? I mean, plus, Marshall. Marshall's he can share. He can share. It's not Marshall either. Just so if you're wondering,
Yeah, Marshall's, even though he wanted the football all the time, he does share from time to time.
Okay.
He does.
So,
I would agree with that.
So you are saying you would like to wake up at 4 a.m. and join us?
Well, I think I am Super Bowl morning. I think I'm gonna be, maybe doing a couple of segments Super Bowl morning with you guys. So I look forward to that.
That's Central Time, LT. I'm talking Pacific. I'm talking.
Oh no, sir.
Wake up and think to yourself, what in the hell am I doing up at this hour? That's
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And are you?
That's why I respect you guys.
Are you acting? Are you doing some sort of acting?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I had my first acting role this past off season.
Mm-hmm.
I played in a movie called God Bless the Broken Road.
Mm-hmm.
It was done by Harold Kronk, who did God Is Not Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a pastor, Rich. I played a pastor of a church, and pretty decent role. I can't wait for it to come out. It's going to be I think it's going to be something that a lot of people enjoy.
I can't wait to see that. I didn't know you were doing this.
Yeah, well, I try to keep it quiet, Rich. I don't boast about the things that I'm doing,
All right, that's called a teardrop mic drop right there on and by LaDainian Tomlinson. Thanks for calling in, LT. I'll see you at the shop.
You got it, Rich.
You got it. That's LaDainian Tomlinson.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.